있습니다.
Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1 Round Robin. Today's matchup: Flash LUX, Afreeca Freecs Blue.
And welcome everybody to Seoul, South Korea for another day of the Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1. I'm Doe, and with me is Monte Cristo as usual, and you can see Flash LUX versus the Afreeca Freecs Blue will be our first best of 5 of the night. This one's going to decide Group A, isn't it?
It absolutely is. We already have Rogue going out in first place in this group into the quarterfinals, and that means that one of these two teams, whoever wins tonight, will be joining them. And of course, coming up later, we are going to have Luxury Watch Blue going up against Runaway. So our second match will feature the return of Haksal, a very hyped player from the 3-0 they managed to pick up versus Reunited very early on in this tournament.
Yeah, about as early on as it could be. That was the very first day of the tournament, and we haven't seen them since. So a lot of things can happen in 5 weeks as far as a new game is concerned, so we'll see if Runaway has kind of kept up with the other teams that have been improving. Luxury Watch Blue certainly has improved quite a bit from early on in the season, so as good as Haksal's Genji is, I think the whole team's going to need to get better if they want to win that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is obviously going to be a big move to try and shut down Haksal's Genji as well from LW Blue. Question is, can they actually pull it off? Because it was mighty impressive to see what he could do on that particular hero in their first week of play, but it's been a long time. Yeah. But looking at Flash LUX today, didn't have such a great performance yesterday, but they did have to go up against Rogue, which is tough for anybody in the world right now.
Right. I mean, everybody's looking at Rogue as probably the favorites to win this tournament, so no big surprise there that they took down Flash LUX so quickly, but it was about as one-sided as you can get. I mean, they 200% to zeroed them on Nepal, and it really didn't get much closer after that. So Flash LUX is going to need to show a lot of improvement. They really kind of lacked in every category, to be frank, honestly. And a team like Afreeca Blue is already a team that has those qualities. They can manage their ultimates quite well. They're very well coordinated. So I think Flash LUX has got a mountain to climb if they want to win this one. But if they can, they will go to the quarterfinals. Whoever wins this match moves on.
That's right. And Afreeca Blue, we were a little bit skeptical about how their play would be after coming back, Arhan returning from the Overwatch World Cup, but they were very convincing and one-sided in their match against RG Titan. And now that they've had a little bit more time to practice, get back on their feet, we do expect it to be a pretty one-sided affair here in our first match of the evening.
Yeah, you can see Group B all decided right now. We're going to find out a little bit more about what's going to happen in Group D in our second match. And then tomorrow, the final day of the group stages, everything is decided. We'll know everyone going through the quarterfinals at that point. And then Friday, right away, we start the quarterfinals. So this one's moving fast.
Yeah, we are also going to have a bracket draw tomorrow night after the group stage has concluded. So that'll be added on to the end of the broadcast. Then we'll go straight into 2 best-of-5 quarterfinals on Friday and 2 on the following Monday. So they will be best-of-5s all the way up through the semis and then a best-of-7 for the grand final.
Yep, that's right. And I'm excited about this first one because I like watching Afreeca Blue. We saw what a good player Arhan was, obviously, at the Overwatch World Cup. We saw what Tyron can do, not just as a coach, but as a player, too, when he kind of took the helm with that Korean team at BlizzCon. And so today, obviously, Tyron, the coaching role, he's not going to be here today playing for them, but they do have Arhan. What's exciting to me about this team is that you see other people start to come up. Recry's Hanzo is really, really good right now. The team as a whole in their last match did a great job of being very conservative with their ult usage, I thought. And, just in general, playing really, really well.
I was surprised at the level of synergy that they had after Arhan had been gone for 2 weeks. It really was clicking immediately for them. They did have a weaker opponent in RG Titan, and it will be, I guess, slightly harder here tonight. But
will it?
Flash LUX,
maybe. I'm not so sure. I don't know.
They were a bit uncoordinated yesterday, for sure.
Yeah.
We saw their tank player, especially on that Winston, sometimes getting way too far in front of his team and dying early on in those fights.
Yeah.
But it's worth noting that they did have some decent ult combos at times. They sort of got like one good push off a map.
I was going to say, they had one good combo usually per side.
Per map, yeah.
Yeah.
And they did take the first point on Anubis. They did make at least the third map competitive, and they improved, I think, over the course. They got super blown out on Nepal, but then they managed to, at least take the point on King's Row.
Yeah, they stabilized a bit.
Yeah, Anubis was a better performance.
Yeah. Well, they're going to need to have a much, much better performance than even that if they want to have any chance of winning this best-of-5 here today and sending themselves to the quarterfinals. There you can see the rosters for both teams. And, of course, Afreeca Freecs Blue coming in with Arhan, that superstar DPS player, really great Genji, but also an extremely good Bastion player, too. We saw some awesome defensive Bastion play at the Overwatch World Cup from this guy, and I keep hoping we see that pop up again. We didn't see in their last match. Maybe today is our lucky day.
Yeah, it definitely could happen. Recry, as you said earlier, has been great on the Hanzo, but a solid McCree as well. Arhan's been playing almost exclusively Genji for the past few weeks. And interestingly, they have a more balanced split on their main tank between Reinhardt and Winston than most other teams. Adam is basically pure 50-50 between those two heroes. And usually, of course, you're going to see slightly, maybe 2/3 Reinhardt, 1/3 Winston. So they use Winston as a primary tank more often than most other teams.
I do think that part of it is because they have Arhan playing Genji all the time. It makes you much more willing to use that Winston rather than the Reinhardt. So it's probably got something to do with it. But
yeah,
it is interesting to note. Yeah,
they do like to run the dive compositions, right?
Yeah.
So it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of Genji. So there is Afreeca Freecs Blue, of course. And again, these guys are coached by Tyron, who you all should know well from the Overwatch World Cup. In an interview recently with Miro and Zunba, 2 other members of the Korean team, they were saying that Tyron was not only providing the strategy coaching, but also a really big help in terms of keeping the players' mental state in the right place, not allowing them to tilt and all that. And that is a hugely valuable skill for a coach to have. And I feel like you can kind of see that in the Afreeca teams. They do approach things in a little bit more calm of a manner. It takes a lot to rattle these guys. Yeah,
even Afreeca Red, we are going to be going to Lijiang Tower. So Afreeca Red, a team that is in the Challenger League, but placed second behind LW Red. That's Pine's team that a lot of you might know.
Yeah.
They've already qualified for the promotion matches. Basically, the way that's going to work is the top 2 teams from each season of Challenger, which were in the first season, Afreeca Red and LW Red, will be going against the bottom 4 teams, the 4th place team in every group here, to try and qualify for the second season of Apex. So it should be exciting.
I think there's a very good chance they're going to both make it in.
Yes, I think that's almost certain. But that should make this league even more competitive, Noah.
Yeah, it definitely will. With the first season, if you will, first tournament for any new game, obviously there's going to be some one-sided matches, and we've certainly seen our share this time around. But onward and upward, man. The bracket stage is going to be amazing. Season 2 is going to be awesome, and we are ready to move into our first map between Flash LUX and Afreeca Blue. It's time to go to Lijiang Tower and see who can take the early lead. Again, Flash LUX, a lot of work to do. They're going to really need to pull out all the stops if they're going to have any chance against Freecs Blue. See if they can do it.
I get it.
All right, welcome to Lijiang Tower. We're starting things out on the night market. And so far, the comp's looking pretty normal, except for Recry on that Hanzo. You don't see that too often on, well, control maps in general, but especially something like night market, where there's a lot of close quarters fighting. I mean, Scatter Arrow is pretty good, and if anyone can do it, Recry certainly can.
You do have a long sight line in front of the pagoda, though, so I don't think it's inconceivable that they would actually try and use that and fight directly in front of the point in the open area.
Yeah, I mean,
could lead for some good picks. And
I agree.
This is pretty typical Afreeca. They are going to be going for the Winston and the Genji, and then Recry going to switch over to the McCree. So they're still opening up the long sight lines for Recry. Recry is often left to his own devices in the back.
Yep, and he certainly does a good job of providing that mid-range sort of damage as Genji's jumping in there. Flash LUX on the point first. Aquino looking for some kills on this Reaper. Let's see if he can get anybody. Pounding away at the Winston. Wiso, though, takes out Jin. Recry finds the kill onto Ana. That's a big deal, actually. Kisu's first ult is going to be really delayed because of that. Yeah,
absolutely it will be, and Arhan's still going to try and back off right here. They are going to have to give up that first cap on the point, looks like.
Yeah.
We'll go over to Flash LUX, and, you know, the Reaper really does mess with Afreeca Blue, using the Winston and the Genji combo. Recry actually switching to Hanzo now.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what he can do with this. Arhan's got the Dragon Blade ready. He's going to pull it out now, trying to take back this point. Sound Barrier does go down for a Flash LUX. That was built really fast by Yuck. Meanwhile, they drop the Blizzard as well, and Arhan can't get anything going. Flash LUX holds for the moment.
Yeah, huge sound barrier there on the defensive, and I think Afreeca really needs to rethink their team composition right here.
Uh-oh, goodbye, Jin.
That's a really delayed push. They got to get rid of this Winston, I think. Maybe they're being a little bit greedy, waiting for the Winston to actually hit that Primal Rage and then swap it over, but they have so many tools to deal with Adam right now, and it's a bit awkward.
Oh, Dragon Strike goes through a bit of an awkward angle for that. Doesn't get anybody. Sound Barrier used for the Freecs as well, and they're trying to advance on the point. A little bit late, though. The barrier's already gone. Nice kill on Aquino, though, from Recry. Starting to make his presence known. We've seen what this guy can do on Hanzo in the past. Jin managing to push people away, and it looks like Afreeca will be able to claim the point. Yep, they're going to get it for now.
Yeah, Arhan actually picked up several kills there without even having his ultimate available, so that's going to be a tool.
Yeah.
They've got, when they move through over onto this point, they're not going to have the Dragon Strike and Zarya ult combo, Graviton Surge, anytime soon. As Recry did use that Hanzo ult pretty early on. So back onto the high ground will be Flash LUX, and we'll see if they can get anything done.
Graviton Surge, Nano Boost goes on to the Reinhardt, though. Wiso has that. We'll see what he can get done with it. Misses the Earth Strike, or a Fire Strike, rather. Trying to go after Recry. Can he finish him off? Not quite. Finally, maybe gets him. The heals coming from Ana, but it's not enough. Sound Barrier used as well as Pumple and Wiso pick up a couple kills. Hamtal does have that Blizzard available.
Yuck really threw away the Sound Barrier, though, at the end of that fight.
Yeah.
Not necessary for how things were going, but great play there coming in on the Reinhardt, blocking the Scatter Arrow with the shield and then making sure they made the most out of that Nano Boost. And Afreeca, this composition, I really just don't think it's going to work. Recry now on Pharah.
Yeah, trying to switch to another DPS, I guess, but I don't think the DPS is a problem right here. Pumple has that Graviton Surge if he wants to use it, getting knocked away, though, by Adam. Oh, he nearly was knocked off. That was close. Oh, nearly knocked off again. The Zarya that wouldn't die, man. Graviton Surge still up. Pumple, though, he's not up. He will go down. Looks like Freecs Blue going to reclaim the point here. They need to hold it up to 95% for Flash LUX already. This match is not going how I expected so far.
Well, it's also the fact, though, that Flash LUX is about to hit 6 ultimates all at once. Afreeca going to be lagging behind in that regard slightly, but at least they have the Nano Boost and the Dragon Blade, but they got to pop it early.
All right, Nano Boost used. Arhan looking for some kills with that Dragon Blade now. Gets one. Pumple, meanwhile, picks one up for his team. Kisu does go down. There goes Hamtal. Arhan doing the work they need him to do, and the rest of the team cleaning it up in the end. So Blue will hold for the moment.
Yeah, they actually used the Sound Barrier on Freecs Blue as a counter to Pumple's Graviton Surge. That means they don't have a defensive ult right now, and this should be a powerful push for FlashLux. It's going to be very difficult for Afreeca to survive this with only a barrage.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to see a nano-boosted Reaper getting in there pretty soon. Maybe they'll give it to Weeso. We'll see. Nano-boost. Oh, Weeso actually getting a couple kills here. Recry gets 2, in fact. That is big. They needed that. Even knocked off Pumple. What a clutch play from Recry on that Pharah.
Oh, wow. That was absolutely huge. Freecs knew that they were at a disadvantage, so they went for the aggressive play on the Pharah, and they get it. FlashLux doesn't have very many tools, but they've got one more shot, and no, they don't. Primal Rage.
Beautiful.
So the Pharah switch actually very effective because there was only the Mei and the Reaper. No way to really shoot Recry out of the sky efficiently. No McCree, no long-range hit scan to actually take the Pharah down. So they get nearly, well, they did get a full channel barrage off. That was so clutch there by Afreeca Blue in what should have been an easy win situation for FlashLux.
You know, it looked a little bit awkward throughout for Afreeca Blue, and, you know, we talked about that composition. Doesn't look like they're going to change things up for number 2, but Recry really being the hero there at the end, getting those 3 kills with the Pharah, setting him up for the win.
I do think there was stubbornness sticking to that Winston, and we may say that again. Humtol going to swap over the Genji, so no Mei, but Akino's still going to be a problem here. Arhan going to be on the Reaper himself, and Recry just right back onto the Pharah. We'll have at least some poke damage from the Genji to try and keep him in line, but that'd be a little bit tricky.
And FlashLux, again, doesn't really have a whole lot to handle this Pharah. They've got the Ana, but that's really about it. That'd be brutal. Oh, well, looks like Weeso's gonna find the kill anyway. Somehow it was a Reinhardt that got that one. That was interesting. FlashLux looked like they might claim the point first here. They will. Suppose Pharah has to come down sometime.
Yeah, so just a quick back off there from Afreeca after the couple of initial picks. Arhan is going to flip over to the Tracer now, trying to be a little bit more elusive. And, you know, Joe, this is like a, if you don't play McCree, punishment DPS duo of Pharah and Tracer. There's not a whole lot to stop either of these heroes right now, but Akino going to get nano boosted and pick up some kills.
Yeah, he's going to get Arhan there, looking for a little bit more. That's the sound barrier to keep him safe, going after Adam. Now there goes Adam. Afreeca Freecs Blue nearly wiped. Well, I think that was a team wipe. Jim came up right at the end.
Yeah, it was, and now they almost have a Graviton and a Death Blossom to work with. FlashLux really coming out strong here today. Big Bang nearly ready for Afreeca Blue, though. So they've been very conservative. Haven't used any ults yet. Here we go.
Yeah, that's right. There it is. Big Bang coming in, and they get the kills. Well, Recry the one getting the kills. Arhan actually not using that Pulse Bomb. Meanwhile, Hamtal just wrecking people. 3 kills on that Genji, but Afreeca Freecs Blue are on the point. Looks like they're going to take out the Genji and take back the point.
Afreeca committed 5 ultimates to that, however. So big time commitment. FlashLux looking very similar, though. They had to use the Graviton Surge, had to come in with the Death Blossom, and Hamtal also using his Dragon Blade at the same time. So the fact that the point switch may be in favor of Afreeca Blue right now. See what Arhan can do with his Pulse Bomb. The answer is nothing. Oh, he got Hamtal.
Yeah,
he did get Hamtal.
A little bit of something. Adam, though, not able to survive on the outside as Weesu slams away. Oh, I thought he was going to get the pin, but the Ana dodged behind at the very last second. Yes, man, though, not able to survive there. Afreeca Freecs Blue fighting to hold that point. Looks like off of those kills from Recry, they'll be able to do that for the moment.
Yeah, they will, and they're building up that ultimate bank yet again. So trying to control the choke point here at the doorway while they catch up when it comes to percent. For FlashLux, there's a push for ult percent right there. They're going to have 4 soon.
Yep, that's right.
And that's when they're going to have a nice timing window here to really take the hammer to Afreeca Blue.
No pun intended. Weeso has the sound barrier coming in now, looking for that Earth Shatter. See if he can maybe get it. People on all sides. Recry, though, on the Reaper. He has a nano boost, gets a kill onto Pumple. This fight is all Afreeca Blue.
Oh, man, Doa. That sound barrier from Hyuk came in way too early, and Afreeca fell back very quickly, waited out with the nano boost, and then turned the tide using the Zarya and the Ana ultimates.
Here's what
Recry got some work done.
Yeah, I mean, here's what we're kind of used to from Afreeca Blue is being very conservative with that ult usage. Only using 2, saving a lot. They have a few now. Or they had to use a few there to keep Flash LUX out.
Yeah, also playing very aggressively. Adam just jumped in there with the Primal Rage just to buy more time on the point. So Flash LUX in a situation, this nano boosted Genji has to do work.
Well, Recry coming in, does a lot of damage. Sound Barrier, though, does keep Flash LUX, well, a few of them up anyway. Not enough, though. Nano boost onto Hamtal, but there's no one there to support him, and Afreeca Blue will just take the map 2-0.
That's the second time, Noah, they've had a very strong push on the enemy spawn. Right when the percent were ticking down. They make more aggressive plays than most other teams are willing to do in those scenarios. They will all in you. And even though it looked like both of those times Flash LUX was going to be having an ult advantage, should have been able to come away with the victory, the initial pickoffs that they get, either with that Death Blossom in map number 2, or point number 2 rather, or with the Barrage in point number 1, just turned it into a 6v4 very early on, and then that Genji nano boost was not enough to actually pull out a point win.
I think the Afreeca Freecs are doing a really good job of exploiting the specific weaknesses that Flash LUX have, actually. They know Flash LUX gets a bit panicky on the ult button, and so by being that aggressive, they kind of force them to use the ultimates inefficiently, whereas Afreeca Blue gets to be very conservative with it, gets to hold on to it, and gets to be kind of a little bit better prepared overall. So it's a good strategy against Flash LUX.
Yeah, it's difficult to deal with their level of aggression, too. They do kind of crazy things that you wouldn't normally expect, and they commit in a way that most seems to be more reserved and playing defensively, but man, they just power through.
Especially good against Flash LUX. Kings Row is going to be our second map. And some long faces on the side of Flash LUX, but it's best of 5. They could still come back. And let's go to Kings Row and see if Flash LUX can tie up this series, or if Afreeca Blue are going to put themselves one win away from going to the quarterfinals. Time to get in the game and find out.
I get it.
Welcome to Kings Row, where everybody hates robots. Just how it is. See any Zenyatta? No, you don't, because everybody hates him here.
Yeah, well,
That's how it is.
they did, you know, assassinate Robot Dalai Lama here, so.
Yep. Then they built a statue for him, which is kind of weird. You know?
That is kind of odd,
Yeah.
actually.
Huh.
It seemed like there was some serious robot rights problems.
Well,
with London.
I mean, technically it was Widowmaker, so maybe the French were behind it the entire time. It's possible.
Yeah, we haven't seen that Paris map yet, where they really hate robots, though.
That's right. I heard they really hate robots in France. You know, I've never been there, but I've heard. Rumor has it.
Well, Recry going to be going back to the Pharah right now, and I love this, Noah. I think that they have a very good read on what Flash LUX likes to do. They're a team, for example, Hamtal has played more Reaper and Zarya than he has McCree. They like to run Zarya on their second DPS, flex him into an off-tank, and run triple tank compositions, and without a solid McCree player, play Hanzo.
Play Hanzo, yes!
Craigasm, okay.
I
The Twitch
agree.
beamers are here
I agree.
at OGN.
It was only a matter of time, Aquino on the side here, trying to come up to the high ground. We'll see if Afreeca Freecs Blue can stop them.
Yeah, it's another pretty standard Beyblade composition here with the Mei and the Reaper, and Pharah is very good against this.
Well, it's a good surround on Afreeca Freecs Blue, though. Kind of dangerous. Good split with that Mei wall. See what they can get out of it. Hamtal still good for health. Meanwhile, Recry, though, picking up the kills. You know, Hamtal lasted a little bit longer than his teammates, but that was still not a good push for Flash LUX.
And that's the power of the Pharah right there. They have to get something that can deal with it. Their answer is going to be Hamtal back onto the Genji like it was before, but Recry has so much space to work with around this point that it might be a bit tricky. Now, the McCree swap coming in. So they're getting two heroes that will be better equipped, but Aquino has not been a fantastic McCree player thus far.
Yeah, agreed. Blue falling back just a bit. Aquino trying to claim a bit of high ground. Oh, nice flashbang. That's a way to handle that fire. If she just walks up to you, that makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Biotic grenade going down. Meanwhile, Wiso has a nano boost. So does Adam on the other side. Gets the pin with like 0 health remaining. doing so, gets down to about half health. Looks like Afreeca Freecs Blue, though, with that sound barrier, are going to just barely keep Adam up. He came so close to death.
I mean, yes, man, Sonic sound barrier was the real hero right there, Doa.
Yeah.
They nano boosted him at the last second, reducing that damage, but they held onto the sound barrier until they absolutely needed it, so it allowed him to just continue grinding his way through that fight. He had the later nano boost, so it was up for longer, and then Anai just healed him up from the back line. So very nice use of those ultimates, and they're going to have a lot of tools to work with. Because Dayfly had so much time to heal that Reinhardt up. Look at it. He's already at 77% of a nano boost again.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, there's Graviton Surge. They're going to drop the barrage. Maybe they don't need it. No, I don't think so. Biotic Grenade preventing those heals, and Recry can just hold on to the ultimate for now.
Don't have to use it, but they do have the combination. Or Jin just used the Graviton, so not going to be up and available, but a lot of high damage abilities. Sometimes Korean teams do like to nano boost the Pharah just to give her more durability so she can get a full channel barrage off.
I think it's a good strategy if you can get that far in the right position, which Recry seems like he's not having too much trouble doing right now. Aron hiding, gets a nano boost, goes in with the Death Blossom, pretty much unopposed, gets flashbang. That's going to drop him out of the ult, but the damage has been done.
Absolutely. And they're going to be forced back right into the spawn. And yet again, Doa, we're looking at a critical push from Flash Lux. It's another massive ult advantage as they come into this point. They should be able to take it. They've nearly got 6 ults. But how aggressive is Afreeca Blue going to play?
I mean, Earth Shatter into Barrage can really ruin their day. Recry's getting set up for it right now. Pumple coming in. He's got the Graviton Church Barrage used. And Recry, unopposed completely, gets 4. And man, talk about an MVP performance. Recry on this Pharah. What a hard carry. Man, let's watch that again.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at this. Where is the McCree? I mean, he's not even looking right there. You have to assume, and that's just bad McCree play, frankly.
I mean, he just flew right up in their faces. It wasn't even really a sneaky Pharah play.
No, should have been dead there, 100%, but Aquino was looking somewhere else, and that's another barrage that does a huge amount of damage.
There comes the sound barrier.
See if they can take this, though.
All right, Aquino slept for a moment. He's going to back away, trying to get that kill onto Recry. Landed the flashbang, but couldn't land the headshot afterwards. He's going to go down, and you got to hit those shots. You're the one who needs to kill that Pharah, and he just can't make it happen. Looks like Afreeca Freecs are going to hold here on point A.
Yeah, but what a good read, though, as we see Humble get nano boosted on this Winston. It is a bit of a desperate measure right now. Pushed off the point.
Yep.
Killed, blown up, everybody just going down right now. No chance to get back into this one. Genji gonna try and make it, but won't. Get to the point in time, overtime ticks down, and that's it.
Well, that was pretty one-sided, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but I really like Afreeca's strategy coming into this map. They have identified a very clear weakness on the side of Flash Lux, and Aquino just isn't up to the task of dealing with this Pharah. So basically, Flash Lux needs to very quickly come up with an answer to Recry's Pharah play, because so far they have been found seriously wanting.
I mean, the issue here is that if Aquino can't handle it on the McCree, you know, what do? Play Zenyatta at that point? You need to have somebody who can hit scan that far out of the air, and it's just not happening yet.
Oh, they're going to play Mercy. It's going to be Pharmercy here.
All right.
Dayfly. I like it. You know, frankly, like, it's working so well that if you're just going to all in on the Pharah, Flash Lux, they have to do something about this. And the answer, they're going to try now for the Roadhog and the McCree. So either hooking the Pharah out of the sky or having Homtol. So they switched up the McCree player because Aquino not very good on that, on attack in the last round, and they should be expecting it. But this is really their last iteration, we can say, of how they can possibly handle the situation.
You know, I think we may actually see Recry switch over to this Hanzo instead. It's a good read. You know, he knows that they're probably going to stack on things that can take out the Pharah, so this is the time to pull out that deadly Hanzo.
Well, it's also it's the mind games, right?
Yeah.
And they can also go back to the Winston now too, because if they think there's not going to be a Reaper in play because of the Pharah they've been running, then Winston becomes much stronger. Is Dayfly going to stick on the Pharah? It's going to be Pharah Hanzo? Okay.
Maybe. No, he's going to swap now. Okay, I was going to say.
Yep,
I think
so
maybe.
there we
I
go.
was wondering if it was just going to be a Sonic Arrow or something like that. Didn't get that early pick. And here we go. Pharmacy. Pharmacy has opened. And the IDs being taken are off, and bodies Pharah leaves behind.
Wow.
That got grim really fast, I guess, but you get the idea. All right, looking for that damage boosted Pharah. See what they can do. Camtol already down. There's a McCree. Pumple taken out as well. Wiso gets the kill onto Adam, but it's a good start from Afreeca Freecs Blue so far.
Yeah, Kito gets a pick onto Arham, though. That's a nice takeaway, but the Lucio going to fall.
Yeah, Recry is still just wrecking people, and doesn't look like Blue is going to be able to maybe claim the point right now. We'll see. Yeah, they managed to push Flash LUX back. There's a Diva already. Now the desperation came in fast for Pumple. He's already out of the suit, and I think Afreeca Freecs Blue is already out of the map.
Well, they killed the Genji, Noah.
Oh, Barrage. And, okay, somehow.
Wow, nice shot there.
I was going to say, yeah. Direct damage, direct hit there. And that's it. All right, Afreeca Freecs Blue just rolls in and grabs point A, and, you know, it's kind of going how I thought it was.
Well, I like that even though Afreeca struggled a bit on control point, they have found the weakness in the Flash LUX armor, and they are just driving through it.
They really are.
That is terrifying that Pharah is so effective against this Flash LUX team.
I mean, we didn't even really get to see if Hamtal can deal with the Pharah because he died so fast. He didn't even get a chance to try.
Now, part of that was great Winston play. If we actually think about how that point unfolded, the initial dive, because Recry came back in and was just playing around the Winston shield at ground level with that Pharah. So really good synergy between Adam and Recry to dive that back line and to get the flank as fast as possible and to play around that just damage blocking shield for the Pharah to go nuts.
Yeah. It's hard to line up shots on the Pharah too when you've got a Winston in your face.
Oh, yeah.
Electrocuting you. Not too easy to survive at that point. So, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll see if Afreeca Freecs Blue can punch their ticket to the quarterfinals with a 3-0 over Flash LUX. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
솜브라가 누구냐고? 기록상 그녀는 없어. 존재하지 않아. 아무도 이 아이를 기억 못해. 그 전쟁 후엔 이런 애가 수두룩했거든. 하지만 이렇게 해킹을 잘한 나이는 없었지. 그리고 이 아이는 사람을 조종하는 것도 별일 아니라는 걸 알았어. 세상이 어떻게 돌아가는지 알고 나니 정보가 곧 힘이었지. 그래서 계속 해킹을 했어. 정치인하며 회사하며 정부하며 꼭 중독이라도 된 듯이. 그러다가 처음으로 누군가에게 발각됐어. 하드웨어를 못 쓰게 되면 업그레이드를 해야 하지. 아이는 사라지고 솜브라가 태어났어. 이제 난 준비됐어. 세상을 조종하는 게 누군지 알아낼 거야. 그들의 약점을 찾아 이용하겠어. 그때는 모두가 내 뜻대로 움직이겠지. 솜브라가 누구냐고? 너흰 영영 모를 거야. 아디오스.
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
And welcome back to the Stomp Fest. That is the Intel Overwatch Apex Season 1 with Doe and Monte Cristo, and FlashLux having a bit of a tough time handling the Pharah from Recry on Afreeca Freecs Blue. We're going to our third map. And
yeah, they got to have some sort of solution, man, because nothing they've been doing has been working. They've tried basically everything. They've tried McCree Genji. They've tried McCree Roadhog. Now, part of it is that, credit to Afreeca Blue, they're doing a great job of shutting down the DPS and diving them early, including playing Pharah super aggressively.
Yeah.
And I think they're also they're throwing FlashLux for a loop because I think FlashLux is panicking. I don't think they know what to do when Afreeca Blue plays this aggressively, especially on Lee Jung. They had some scenarios where they had good ult advantages, but Afreeca would just surprise them, pop out while they were on the attack, and they just don't have the discipline to hold on to those ultimates or to form a plan of attack coming into those points.
yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, we know how Afreeca Freecs Blue play. This is no shock to us, but FlashLux just can't handle the aggression. Let's see if they do any better here as we move on to Volskaya Industries. Afreeca Freecs Blue with a win. They can go to the quarterfinals. I think they're going to get it. Let's get in the game and see if they can.
I get it.
All right, well, I think Afreeca Freecs Blue get it as well, in that they get that Pharah is a pretty good answer to anything that FlashLux has been throwing at him, but so far in the defense here on Volskaya Industries, no Pharah yet, which is not too shocking. Pharah isn't exactly a popular pick on Volskaya defense.
Yeah, probably going to see it on attack, though, at least on point A. I think Pharah is pretty bad on attack on point B because there's too many ways, too many of those small rooms to get out of rocket or barrage range for the defensive side. But as far as Afreeca Blue is concerned right now, they're going with the platform hopping duo of Genji and Winston, and it's very easy for Roadhog to hit hooks here on that point from the high ground. There's just so much open space to work with.
Yeah. I mean, it's with the Roadhog too, you don't even necessarily need to be on the high ground. You can just kind of hide behind a pretty high amount of corners and just pop out and hook people too.
Yep, gotta see the Reaper and Genji combination again from Flash Lux.
Yeah.
So at least they'll have some nice tools to handle the Winston.
Kino coming in with this Genji. Wiso trying to get something started on this Winston. Takes a little bit of damage. Has to back off slightly. See if he goes back in. Afreeca Freecs Blue very spread out right now as Wiso jumps up onto the building to try to push people off. Recry on that high ground over there. Out of range with the hook to take that Genji. We'll see if he grabs somebody else though. Misses that hook. Kino looks for a little bit more. Only about 30% towards that Dragon Blade, though. Now, Roadhog could be a little bit of trouble. Yes, man, there to protect him. They're all going to turn. They don't see Kino behind him, but he can't get any damage done. Meanwhile, I think we might see the reset coming in as Freecs Blue holding point A pretty smoothly so far.
Yeah, they
nice
are. Nice hook just to finish that off.
Yep.
Barely any HP left on Hyux Lucio, but at least they get the kill. But to start that was a really awkward flank on the high ground. Kisu was up there and just sort of got one-shot by Recry's Roadhog. A little bit strange to see the supports that close to a Roadhog and approaching over the back bridge right there.
Yeah.
See if they come up with a different plan of attack this time around.
I like the defensive spot that Blue is on. There's a nano boost on Arhan. He's not going to wait around. There goes Kisu coming in from behind. They did not expect that. And Arhan just wrecking Flash Lux right now. That's another push stuffed hard.
Yeah, Kino gets Dayfly though, so they do trade on us. However, Kisu is going to be denied the nano boost for a little bit longer by going down so early. And they've got it right now.
Yeah, Dayfly had just used his, so not a huge deal that they lost him in that fight.
Yes.
Doesn't slow him down too much.
Also, the nano boost not going to be too terribly effective. We'll see. They're going to try and put it on the Hoptol right here, but with the sound barrier up right now for Yes Man, not going to have a great opportunity to use it, you've got to think.
I think maybe you throw it onto Wiso. He's the only one that can get it.
Oh, Recry goes down, actually.
Yeah, that's right. They might be able to make it work now. Pops that Death Blossom, has a nano boost with the sound barrier, preventing it from getting totally out of control. Still not a bad start for Flash Lux. Looking for more, they get Adam. Afreeca Freecs Blue may need to back off here. Nice kill on Aquino. Takes down Yes Man with that hook from Roadhog. And finally, Flash Lux taking this first point.
Yeah, good setup right there, even through the sound barrier. The Beyblade working its way through Jin Zarya. And they snowball the first initial 2 picks into control over that point. Means they are going to be trying to push onto point B. They got 5 minutes left, but Aquino switching over to that Roadhog, making a big difference, landing some of the initial pickoffs, and we'll see if they can get another good attack in here.
All right, Pumple right there. He's going to get sucked into the Graviton Surge, though. Arhan with 1 kill. Arhan looking for a little bit more. He gets 3. Jin picks up a 4th for Afreeca Freecs Blue, and that's a solid team fight win.
And we're going to reset off the backside of the fight. They know that they've lost. Now Flash Lux going to be coming in again with a quality ultimate advantage. Recry did switch over to the Mei. So effective at dealing with any kind of point control on point B here. Arhan, it's Bastion time.
Oh yeah, I love it. Point B, why not? Recry over on the Mei. He's going to switch to the Reaper. Okay, well, still a good defensive comp, obviously, from Afreeca Freecs Blue. It is a bit harder to maneuver that Bastion around on this point as opposed to points on other maps. Pumple probably going to get something started with the Graviton Surge here as they go in. We'll see if it works out. There's a Blizzard, though. Blue dropping it, pushing back Flash Lux, causing them to have to scatter. And it's an easy team fight win for Afreeca Freecs Blue. They fly. Looks like he used the nano boost there, too. Didn't see who that went on to. Probably Arhan, I would imagine.
Yeah, it looked like it was on Arhan right there. That's what helped them clean up. The Mei Blizzard sort of scattering them all across the point. Nice wall right at the choke, too, so not very many places for Flash Lux to go. See if they can get some work done. They've got the Death Blossom.
I've seen this one before.
And yeah, this is...
Get ready.
I know how this ends.
We have
Adam is the sneakiest Reinhardt. Oh, man, if they drop down, no, if they drop down.
You got to check your corners, or in this case, you're under...
You don't expect the
angles.
Reinhardt to be there. See if they drop. Are they going to drop it once?
They're going to have to. They're going to have to drop at some point. And here we go. Maywall trying to...
he
turned!
Nice.
They
Smart.
knew it was up.
Smart.
Graviton Surge comes in, though. Flash Lux pops the sound barrier. Hamtal has that nano boost. And see if he can pick some kills. He's got 2 already. Pumple grabs 1. Blizzard coming in, though. Flash Lux needs to be careful not to get trapped in this. And they're in a little bit of trouble. Getting some time on the point, but so far so good for Blue. Looks like they're surviving just long enough. Aquino does have the Dragon Blade out on that Genji, gets one onto Adam. But they just can't seem to get a lot started on the point right now.
No, they committed all of their ultimates and they couldn't get enough kills, though. It was a great hold there from Recry onto the point. They had the late Blizzard with the ice block, and that bought them the necessary amount of time.
The luckiest Reaper. Recry just can't hit the right clicks. I don't want to wait for the elevator.
May has built-in elevator.
I guess so.
Her kit has an elevator. Why wait?
Kind of a slow elevator, though. Recry just trying to hold Flash Lux back just a little bit. Dayfly still has that ultimate. He's got the nano boost.
Blizzard almost back up for Recry, though. Flash Lux not going to likely be successful on this next push. They've got to bait that Blizzard out and go back to building up their ultimate bank here.
Now Arhan gets very low. Needs to be careful here. Wiso comes in, looking for an Earth Shadow. They drop the Blizzard right away. Gets frozen, gets taken out. This push is going to go nowhere for Flash Lux.
That's fine, though. They got what they wanted. If you look at Afreeca Blue, they got the Blizzard out. Nano Boost is also down, so Flash Lux got to be coming into their next push with a pretty healthy advantage, but this is a lot of time being bought. If Aquino goes down, ooh.
There we go. That's a good split spawn in favor of Freecs Blue.
Yeah, I love the way that Afreeca Blue plays around the clock. They're very smart in when they leverage aggression outside of the base just to buy themselves more percent in control or more time here on Assault.
That was a very safe pursuit from Arhan. He knew he could always get back in time. Flash Lux coming in again. They've got that Earth Shatter. Graviton Surge used. Let's see if Wiso can get out of it. No, he can't. 2 kills for Arhan already. Aquino trying to stay alive. Puts up the Reflect. So low. Only 5 health and now 0 health as Recry gets that kill. And now Blue does have the ults they need to defend Earth Shatter. They do also have that Death Blossom on Arhan as well. Recry again close to that Blizzard.
I mean, what's crazy, Doa, is how efficient Afreeca Blue is with their ultimates.
Yes.
That was only Jin using an ultimate right there, but they still basically just outright win the fight versus Flash Lux because they're the first ones to act. They're coordinated, they're calling their targets well. Adam lurking around the side again here, looking to see if he can get a big Earth Shatter play from the room. He's going to back right back out onto the point. But basically, they bought themselves time to catch up in terms of number of ultimates.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 5-5, and Dayfly going to pop the Nano Boost first.
Yeah, that's right. Nano Boost for both teams, actually. Reaper bounces in with that Death Blossom. Hamtal gets a kill into Arhan. That's a big take. Takes Dayfly out as well. Needs to wait for that Blizzard. Getting hammered by that Reinhardt, and that's actually going to be enough. Kisu with the kill onto Adam there. Pumple over the wall, going to go in. He's got the ult if he needs to use it. Flash Lux fighting as much as they can. Arhan over on that Bastion now, only 10 seconds remaining, and the surprise Bastion at the end can be pretty effective.
Well, they still have to get onto that point, though, and Afreeca just going to be spawning up right now. Pumple,
might be tough.
try and get in there.
All right, Bastion right there. Maywall goes up. He's going to reposition immediately. The fight on the point now. Graviton Surge pulls a lot of Afreeca Blue in, but the kills all going Blue's way. There's Bastion. He's doing just fine. And Afreeca Freecs Blue will hold here on point B. The surprise Bastion at the end, always annoying to deal with.
Afreeca Blue is exceptional in their knowledge of which ultimates are up on the enemy team and when they need to buy the most time. Their clock management, very efficient against Flash Lux today, and their ability to make the right calls even when they're behind on the ult bank has been really impressive. Like, they should not be winning a lot of these fights, but they are because they are outsmarting and their coordination is just simply better. They're not giving Flash Lux the time to plan. They're not giving them the opportunity to formulate an attack. They simply just take the fight to you as fast as they can, and it's been Flash Lux failing to really think ahead.
You know, and the fact that Afreeca Freecs Blue can do this with using so few ults at the same time, I think is one of the things that's really going to give this team an edge when the new patch comes in, because with that higher ult percentage, with the higher ult cooldown essentially, it's the teams that are more efficient with the ult usage that are going to initially have the edge, and I think Blue is going to definitely have that.
I think that's a great point, though, and I also think for the same reason, now we don't know how seriously Rogue was playing yesterday, but for the same reason, that might come to hurt Rogue. Rogue was yesterday not very efficient with their ult usage at all. So
I mean, Nox played Junkrat, so I don't think it was the most serious match of their team's careers there.
But we're comparing them playing against FlashLux, and the difference is that I think Rogue gave FlashLux windows to use their ultimate combos, and we said yesterday FlashLux had better ultimate usage, and Afreeca is just smothering them today. And I think that's a pretty massive difference and a takeaway from watching both of these teams play against FlashLux in the last 2 days.
Well, it's exciting to see Recry back on the Pharah again as Afreeca Freecs Blue takes the offense here on Volskaya Industries. Adam on the Winston, of course, just to distract and give that Pharah a little bit more time in the air without people shooting at her.
Love the Pharah again here.
Okay, so they do see the high ground defense from FlashLux. Coming in now, looks like they're going to send Adam up to harass. That Roadhog getting very, very low. Aquino goes down before he can really claim any victims. Humble gets one, but Adam is being very hard to deal with right now. They finally take him down, but let's see what else happens. Arhan comes in to try to take out the low health members of FlashLux.
Everybody's in this room.
This is kind of a crazy fight here.
Team is still available, so Arhan's going to come back down for the health pack, but Jin's been on the point, and he is slowly working his way to a cap. D.Va gets desuited.
And de-lifed as well. So looks like Afreeca Freecs Blue going to be able to take point A pretty quickly here. That was kind of a wild fight in the little room there, but it ended up working out. So
I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to fight in that room if you're dealing with Genji dashing through you and Pharah rockets raining in. Just a ton of AoE with the Winston there as well.
Yeah. I mean, somehow, some way, I want to go back and watch that again because I want to know how FlashLux got kind of cornered in there because they had that normal high ground defense. So it was a bit odd to see everyone end up in there.
They're working their way up. That nano boost is going to be the go button here for Afreeca Blue.
I think so.
Here we go.
And there it is. Yeah, they're going to drop the Graviton Surge as well. Pumple goes down. Arhan looking for a little bit more. Takes advantage of the sleep dart. Yeah, Hamza will take it down. There's one DPS out of the way. Weeso out of the D.Va suit yet again. And he's going to try to reflect a little bit of the whole hog. That was a nano boost as well for Aquino, but it's not going to be enough. Arhan just cleaning this up. And Afreeca Freecs Blue, if they can fight off the respawns, is going to take it right here.
Well, they still have the sound barrier, Doa, crucially, and they've also got the Pharah barrage to work with. Going to eat some of that up, though, with the defensive matrix.
Yeah, D.Va's pretty good at that. Arhan taken out by Weeso. He couldn't get out of there in time. FlashLux are going to hold for the moment, but that was awkward.
That was awkward. 2 kills off the D.Va ults at the end, and that's going to be a pause.
We're going to pause. Like, wait, Arhan's like, wait a second, did I just die to D.Va ultimate? That should not have happened.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly went down there. Looks like it may be a problem with Yes Man on his PC. Yes Man, also one of the casualties of the self-destruct.
Yeah. Okay. That was interesting. And you can be sure after the patch drops, if all the PTR changes do come through, we're going to see a lot more D.Va. It's like a keyboard issue. Okay.
Couldn't get out of the way of D.Va ult.
That happens sometimes, you know. But yeah, it's interesting to think about. Looking ahead, you know, we don't exactly know when the patch is going to drop, but there's some interesting stuff happening on the PTR right now that kind of suggests it's going to be very, very soon. And so a lot of changes to consider. Soldier 76 looking really good right now. D.Va's super beefy.
Blizzard,
big nerfs on Zarya.
Please wait to drop the patch until we finish group stage tomorrow. That is the one thing that I ask for.
I don't think you're going to get your wish, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't care about patches if it's after group stage and before the quarterfinal round of the tournament. That's okay, but having the last day of groups on a different patch would be not a great time for our competitive players here.
It's a bit awkward.
It's very awkward.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, just looking at the patch in general, a lot of interesting changes, increasing the time it takes to build ultimates across the board. I think is a great change for the game competitively.
Hey, we don't know if that's going through, Della.
True.
You're making
right.
Here we
all
go,
we can do,
Assumption King.
all we can do.
I hope it does.
I am the Assumption King. All we can do is assume and make, and it's not an assumption. It's an educated guess based on the evidence that is in front of us, right? This is the state the PTR was in when it went down, quote unquote, boop. So we can draw an educated guess from that. We aren't saying this is fact, right? We're looking at the evidence in front of us and drawing a conclusion based upon that. And I think that's just fine, Monte Cristo.
I don't think it is, because
It is.
It's
totally fine.
That's PTR is for testing balance changes, and not all of them reach live, fortunately. So we'll see what ends up happening.
I just like to ask the great what if. You know, I just like to delve deep into the unknown and theorize and imagine things.
That's right. Doa, Hypothetical Lord Assumption King. That's what we call you. That's your list of titles. Lord of Hypotheticals.
6
King of
billionth his
Assumptions.
name. Hey, man, some of my assumptions are pretty good. I assumed SK Telecom would win Law Worlds 4 years in a row, and they've won it 3 years in a row. So, or 3 years total.
You
3 out
didn't
of 4.
say
It's
that.
pretty good.
You didn't say that 4 years ago, though. That was the problem.
You're right. I started 3 years ago. My bad.
Well, you've said it every
Well,
season.
I did say
So
it.
here's
I
your
did say it
chance,
in their
Noah.
first performance, though.
Here's your chance, Doa.
What?
Who's going to win the second season of Apex?
Jeez. Well, I mean, that's really hard to say, because I mean, it could be a team we don't even know exists yet. It could be there could be major roster changes in the offseason, which I think is.
You could say that about literally any team in any esport.
I'm gonna say, if there are no global teams, Lunatic High will win the next season of Apex.
What if there are global
because they're gonna get Zunba. I think Lunatic High is going to try to gather as many of the Overwatch World Cup players as they can, make that super team that we saw. Except for Tyrong, obviously he's not going anywhere, I would imagine. But that's my official prediction.
Okay, but there are probably going to be global teams, so that's
probably.
Not going to be too valid.
See, well, that's why I needed the caveat, right?
So what if
And
there
the
are
other-
global teams, Noah?
Well, I don't
What
know.
if
We
there
don't
are?
know if they're going to be good or not. Who knows? I mean, sometimes we've seen global teams just randomly implode. So
Yeah, maybe they'll lose 2 of their players halfway through the tournament.
yeah, or maybe they will just completely change and not even come. Who knows? It's possible. Anything's possible with.
By the way, global teams, get it together. Get it together, global teams. Stop changing your
Wow.
rosters halfway through a tournament. Hey, global teams out there, did you notice that none of the amateur Korean teams changed their rosters in the middle of a tournament? Just gonna say that. Get it together.
What the heck happened with Yes Man's keyboard here? Jeez, did like a bunch of the keys fall off? What happened? You won the fight. You won the fight, Yes Man.
No, he didn't. He got killed by D.Va.
Well, I mean, this team did okay. No, never mind.
They got pushed
actually
off the
got,
point. You have an interesting definition of winning.
It's a lot of things I'm thinking about at the same time.
Such as, hypothetically, what this patch is?
Yeah.
And when it will
It's a
arrive?
big one. Will anybody use Sombra right away?
No, somebody will try, for sure.
Maybe. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
Arhan, no. Ignore the camera swaying majestically in front of you.
That's right. Well, all right. Looks like we might be ready to go. I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay, we're back in there. Yes Man's keyboard is apparently back in action. And we just saw him kill, who was it? Yes Man, I believe, at the very end there.
Maybe his Q key was broken, so he couldn't sound barrier the default.
Maybe. I mean, sometimes that helps you survive it, but not always.
Well, it just depends on the timing.
Yeah. How close you are to it as well. All right. Well, Freaking Blue is still on the attack here. They're going to send in the Winston. Meanwhile, Arhan pulls out the Dragon Blade, gets a couple already. That was like 2 kills with 1 slash, man. Gets another one. Blizzard comes down for Flash Lux. But it doesn't look like, well, see. Oh, Kino goes down. Recry with a big pickup there.
Onto the nano boosted Reaper. He was so low, and he's going to get the Ana as well. We'll see how much damage he can do. Arhan on a roll.
Yeah,
But
it's only Arhan, though.
It's just Arhan.
Yeah.
Arhan against the world. Everybody respawning, getting right back to that point. Arhan pieces out, but he's almost got that Dragon Blade up again, and the nano boost will be there for him this time. Flash Lux sitting on no ultimates, but Humtol already working his way up towards that Blizzard, 33%. They need a lot of time, though. They need a lot of time here.
I just have Arhan on my competitive team from now on. So I've got the Genji that tries to reflect Zarya's beam. That's the Genji that I have on my team all the time.
I think that's the Genji most people have on their
Yeah,
team.
that's pretty common. All right.
And then, of course, when you're playing against the Genji, it's always like Shadowburn.
Then it is Arhan, yeah. Arhan or Shadowburn, one of those guys. Oxall, maybe. They're going to go in. There's the Graviton Surge, and Recry trying to find some kills with that Death Blossom. Gets a couple. Blizzard dropped again already. They get that back so fast. But Afreeca Freecs Blue looking a little bit better this time around. Much smoother fight.
That's
6-0 in kills. They are going to hold this point. Can they take it? Looks like they... Oh, it's so close! Can FlashLux actually hold here? I don't know. It's going to be tough. They literally need like 1 millisecond on the point without anybody from FlashLux, and they are going to the quarterfinals. So close, but FlashLux fighting back. Are you kidding me? I can't even see the amount of time that's left.
Wow, I have never seen it that close before, Doa. And they are, in fact, going to be pushed off here at the last possible second. Akino saving his team with a Death Blossom as he rolls back onto the point, but okay.
Oh, all right. Well, Yes Man's like, hey, we were supposed to win and go to the quarterfinals there. What happened?
He has a sound barrier back up, and now there is potentially a problem. Yep, looks like in the FlashLux booth.
All right.
Whose issue is it?
Who's going to be beaten up after the match? Whose fault is it? Corporal punishment.
That's not how Overwatch teams work. OGN
No?
does not condone corporal punishment.
Okay. It's an audio issue. You get your ears boxed for that one. Ironically. Keyboard issue. Wooden ruler across the knuckles.
Is that it?
That's right.
Is that your hard Minnesota upbringing, Doa?
Mistiming your sound barrier, you have to stand in the corner with the dunce cap on. You know? The one-room schoolhouse of Overwatch. Well,
I guess Numlock spent a lot of time in the corner the other night.
I guess. Oh, that's hard. Well, guys, we've heard it's an audio issue. Ha 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 ha.
Well, it's over now, apparently.
Oh, good. Thank goodness. All right, we're back again. FlashLux with the insane hold. There's a sleep dart onto Genji.
Ooh, he just woke it up, but here we go.
Yeah, that's right. Pulls out the nano blade. There goes Kisu. Oh, he gets pinned, but he stays alive.
13 HP,
That is insane, man. He barely lived through that.
HP.
Yep. Well, guess what? Nano boost is pretty good. Shuriken to the face, and Arhan cleaning up FlashLux. All they need is a little bit more here. Graviton Surge comes in. Afreeca Freecs Blue, all they need is that final pick, but there's the Primal Surge, or Primal Rage rather. And now they're pushing Pumple off. Here we go. Here comes Diva. Wisa in there again. Suddenly we're all Jar Jar Binks, I guess. Oh man, it's so annoying. The Blizzard and the Ice Block from Hamtal. They are holding on to this so well right now. Hamtal getting low. And it looks like with those kills, Recry may have finally done it. Afreeca Freecs Blue still looking for another opportunity here. There's the sun. They just want to kill everyone. Just get off the point. They're just saying, just let me win, man.
That was an
There we go.
impressive defense from FlashLux.
Wow. Yeah, great hold at the end from FlashLux. Barely clinging onto their tournament life, but it is over now. Afreeca Freecs Blue with the 3-0. They are going to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice performance from Afreeca. Love to watch these guys play. Their level of aggression is incredibly entertaining to watch. That's a big victory.
Yep.
So they will be heading out of Group A in second place behind Rogue.